Hello, investors. Welcome to another episode of our series, Our Journey to 10 Crore by Vishal Wealth View. So, I've been getting some queries on community tab regarding the books that you need to get start investing. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about some reading materials and some books that you can read, that you can go through before you come into this investing world, because you need to understand what are the rules of the game before you get into the game. Otherwise, you'll end up losing money. So I'll attach in the description all the detailed videos that you can watch for these books and this reading material. And I'll talk about these books in really brief and what you need to learn from these books and what are the key takeaways you need to understand from these books. So the first one is Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This is a really amazing book, and it talked about how different personas in this world have a different behavioral pattern with the money and what's the relationship with the money is, and how you should take a look at the money and what is your emotional attachment and emotional relationship should be with the money. And it talks about feelings of panic and greed, fear, and how it affects our investment decisions and how you have to control it if you want to make money in the equity market. Second aspect is controlling your greed and envy. And this book amazingly talks about how most investors lose money in the market not because they are not making enough money, but because the other guy is making more money than them. So they are able to uh, think or invest in the companies that they don't understand, go outside the circle of competence, take risks that are not needed, and end up losing a lot of money. Third key takeaway from this book was there is a price that you have to pay to earn those high returns, and it's usually volatility. And if you cannot control your emotions in volatile market, you're not made for the equity market. So you really have to understand the importance of patience. Second book I'll recommend is One Upon Wall Street by Peter Lynch. Peter Lynch was an analyst in Fidelity who became an fund manager, and he generated almost 29% returns per year for almost 13 or 15 years during the time he managed that fund. In this book, he tries to give an insight on why you as a public shareholder has an advantage because you can understand the consumption habits of a company really well because you are more close to the ground and more close to the consumption patterns of the consumer. Second aspect this book talks about is what are the features of great companies? What are the characters of great companies? Why do they stand out? Why do why does Apple is the biggest company? Because of its innovation. Why does Coca-Cola and Pepsi hard to beat? Because they have the product and the branding which they have created for several hundreds of years. It's really hard to compete against them. So each and every company that's a great company has a reason why it's a great company. And this books give you an insight on multiple companies and tries to give you a storyline what those features are and how were they developed. Third is for you as a public shareholder or you as an individual investor, time is your biggest asset. It's not the money. You have to understand a mutual fund manager have to generate a certain amount of results each and every year. Otherwise, he'll be in an article that says worst performing mutual fund manager of this year, whereas no one is going to write that article about you. So time is your biggest asset. Try to take bets that you think can go big in 5 to 10 years because that's where you'll make majority of your money. That's where your wealth will be created. Third book I want to talk about is it's kind of a blog. I want to talk about is Mental Models. It's by Charlie Munger. He was a right hand man of Warren Buffett. Now, this guy talked about different mental models he prepared over his life, which he applies on various companies. And this book gives you a summary of how to apply those principles. I'll talk about top three principles of this book that I usually follow in every investment I make. First is circle of competence. That means don't try to invest in companies that you don't understand well, that you cannot uh, answer a few basic questions of, and that are really completely different from your domain. Now, you also have to understand that you cannot just live in a small little world in just small little job. You have to start understanding and reading about business because that's the only way you are going to increase your circle of competence. The fact is, some companies are easy to run, some companies are tough to run. Coca-Cola is easy business to run. Apple, probably tougher business to run. So that's why you should understand how important it is that whenever you're putting in money in any company, You should have a conviction that if it's going 50% down, I'm going to buy it. And you can only do that if you understand the business well. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Second key takeaway was keeping it simple. Now that means trying to invest in companies that you can explain to your friend, 2-year-old, oh sorry, a 10-year-old, like really less time, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and they should be able to understand your conviction why you are investing in this company and why it will exist and survive in 5, 10 years. And if you're able to think of a time horizon of 10 years that this company will grow at a rate of 20% CAGR, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter how high you're buying that company right now. Eventually, the equity will generate the returns of the underlying business and the underlying asset. The third key takeaway was inversion. Now, this is a principle that I use a lot in my life and in my job as well. Now, the idea is, let's just say you want to have a goal. Think about all the ways in which you'll fail in achieving this goal and try to eliminate all of these possibilities one by one. And to apply this in your investing habit is think about how you can lose all the money while you're making a bet. Try to think about the possibilities. What will happen to you? Are you going to uh, like compromise on sending your kids to college, or are you going to compromise on buying a new house? If those are the questions that you're answering, you should not even invest. You should not need that money, whatever you're investing in stock market or equity market for 5, 7 years. And before even investing that money, think about all the ways in that which that company will fail. Does it have too much debt? Can the competition kill this company? Is it have a bad management that can take decisions that will run this company into ground? Think about all these possibilities. Is it a business that's tough to operate? Is it affected by consumer habits, or is it affected by commodity prices? Can I control the volatility of these aspects and how the price change for this company? So guys, these were the three books and the key takeaways. If you like this video, do leave a comment and subscribe to this channel. Bye.